Good morning and welcome to Bible Study That Doesn't Suck. This is Pastor Amanda Zentz. I am coming to you from Portland, Oregon. I serve at Central Lutheran Church in downtown Portland in Northeast 21st and Schuyler. Our services are at 10:15 on Sunday mornings, and we'd love to have you with us. This is the week after Easter. This is after Easter, after Christmas. It is New Year's Eve today, and as you can see, my colleagues are out and about, and I am sick. This is what can happen to a pastor after a busy season. So due to vacations and illness, and Pastor Megan from Grace in San Francisco is currently taking a trip around the world, seeing the 7 wonders of the world. And Megan is currently in the Middle East and unable to join us for now. So prayers continue to be with them on their journeys as they see these amazing wonders. And my prayers are with all of you as we head into this season. This is going to be a brief Bible study that doesn't suck because, for one, I am solo, and for two, I am still quite sick. So I'm just going to talk for a moment or two about our gospel that is coming up for this next week. We have the Gospel of John, and this is the beginning of the Gospel of John. Megan and I have referred to this, and Pastor John from Oregon City here in Portland as well has referred to this as one of those Gospels that has many, many layers. There's lots of things about this Gospel that are different than our 3 what are called synoptic Gospels. So Matthew, Mark, and Luke are our synoptic Gospels. They tell a synopsis of the life of Jesus. They follow one another in a path. Mark was the first, and Matthew and Luke, scholars believe, had Mark sitting on one side and perhaps a source called Q or Quell, which is for what source, because we believe that there are other commonalities between Matthew and Luke line up so much that there must have been another source that has been lost in time. But these were on their desks as they wrote their Gospels, and things tend to parallel and line up. So if you've started reading the Bible for the first time, and you start with the first book of the New Testament, you start with Matthew, and you read through Matthew, and then you start with Mark, and it looks awfully familiar, don't be surprised. There's a reason why it is indeed awfully familiar, because these are the similar stories with minor differences told over and over again. And that's how our 3 synoptic Gospels work. Our 4th Gospel is the Gospel of John. And this Gospel is written much later than the other Gospels. It is written in a different part of the world than the other Gospels. And it is written with kind of multi-layers to it. With the Gospel of John, you could take things at point value, straight up at the top, or you can start digging deeper into the symbolism that you can find in the Gospel of John and take on the multivalent meanings. John is very focused on relationship and friendship and relationship with one another. John can come off very much as kind of a spiritual, perhaps mildly trippy, just because it's kind of like all out there mystical. So the opening of the Gospel of John, the prologue of the Gospel of John, is very, very, very different than anything you've read in any of the synoptic Gospels. And if you take a look at it, it's poetry almost. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was in the beginning with God, and all things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. These are the first 5 verses. It's poetry, it's symbolism, and it can be vastly, vastly beautiful. So what I am going to encourage you to do is to spend some time with the beginning of the Gospel of John. The words will be posted right down here for you to do so. And I might be able to post a couple more links of some interesting articles for you to read and to think about for yourselves and contemplate what you think of this strange, kind of crazy gospel. I will say that I will be preaching on this, and Pastor John's favorite verse from a couple weeks ago, verse 16, and for from his fullness we have all received grace upon grace, is a word that is in there. So there's certainly different verses that you can catch that can walk with you for a very long time. For myself, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness does not overcome it. That verse has been integral into my understanding of God's journeying with me and participating with me in my life and holding me safe in times of difficulty and challenge. So take a look through the beginning of the Gospel of John and see what may give you some hope or give you a touch point to hold on to. Don't expect yourself to understand it. Scholars have been reading the beginning of the Gospel of John for centuries, and there's very little understanding to be had about this gospel. There's just an experience to be had from this gospel. It is beautiful, it is poetry, it is deep. And don't always just take things at face value with the Gospel of John. Go ahead and dig, go ahead and dive in and see what meanings you can find underneath the surface. This is New Year's Eve, and so I wish to you a happy New Year. And for the many who are feeling lost and who are struggling to find value and are looking at this next year and wondering what they have to offer to the world, I just want to say to you that God's light is still there, and I hope that you can see it. And I hope that if you're not able to see it right now, that there will be those around you who can hold that light for you. Please stay with us. Please access resources to keep you with us. And I'm thinking today of a many trans youth upon the loss of a trans youth yesterday, and the posting of her suicide note up on Tumblr. It's made the news, and lots of people were kind of talking about it yesterday, but I just want to say to the trans youth that are out there, don't give up. And I personally, the trans folks that I know have begun transitioning much later than in their childhood years. And I'm honored to know them, and they are amazing people of strength and self-knowledge that is inspiring. So please don't give up. And if you would like to talk to someone, if you would like to reach out to someone, please feel free to reach out to Pastor Megan or myself, and you can email us I can be emailed at pastor@centralportland.org, and I'll make sure that Megan's email is down below here. And you can reach out and contact us, and we will be back in touch with you to remind you that you're not alone, and that you are worthy, and that you are amazing, you are God created, and you are beautiful, and you are worth having around on this world. So please don't give up. And I know that's easy for me to say from my place, but the world needs you. And so stick around, please. So happy New Year, everyone, and be gentle with yourselves. Be careful with those New Year's resolutions that they don't turn into New Year's guilt-ridden objects. Be sure to celebrate that you made it through another year, and let yourself look forward to 2015 coming up. So thanks for being here with us on this very short, Bible study that doesn't suck. Thank you for your grace, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.